A crossover between horror movie franchises Insidious and Sinister is very much on the cards according to Jason Blum, a producer on both properties. Blum and his production company, Blumhouse Productions, have been instrumental in developing the current wave of modern, possession-centric horror movies, and the producer has had a hand in titles such as Paranormal Activity, Ouija, and Oculus, in addition to the Sinister and Insidious movies. While the original Sinister movie was a financial success, its Ethan Hawke-free sequel made less money at the box office, despite an increased budget, and was roundly panned by critics. The Insidious franchise, on the other hand, is in somewhat better health. Currently on its fourth outing, The Last Key, the Insidious movies may have drawn mixed responses from fans and critics but have consistently performed at the box office regardless. However, it appears that the futures of these two franchises may come in the form of a Blumhouse horror crossover. On promotional duty for Insidious: The Last Key, Jason Blum confirmed to Cinepop that a crossover between Insidious and Sinister had been considered previously, and although the project ultimately didn't pan out, there was still a desire to revisit the idea at some point in the future. Asked about a potential crossover between Insidious and another series, the producer replied, "I hope so. I want to. We almost did Insidious and Sinister and I still feel like we might do that, so I think so. I think we are going to cross our worlds at some point. I don't know how yet, but we are gonna try." Usually when producers are questioned about potential movie crossovers, they take a very non-committal stance, especially when there's a current release to promote, while also leaving the door slightly open to the possibility. As such, Blum's comments are refreshingly candid. Certainly, it appears as though Blumhouse will at least take another look at an Insidious-Sinister crossover. The question is more likely to be whether the creative team can get the mashup to work, and the two fictional worlds to meld effectively. Given that both Insidious and Sinister revolve around the premise of supernatural nasties tormenting the living, merging the narratives of the two franchises should be a relatively easy task. Sinister's pagan deity Buffalo and Insidious' the further realm have shared little in common thus far, but it's entirely plausible that both threats could coexist within the same fictional universe. It would be very interesting to see villains from both franchises fighting over the soul of a single human child, or something to that effect. Whether a crossover would reinvigorate the Insidious and Sinister franchises is a different question altogether, with a third Sinister movie looking unlikely at this stage, and Insidious: The Last Key attracting some particularly brutal reviews. It could be time to shake up both series. A crossover might just provide new sources of inspiration.